Hey guys, so I managed to record the gender identity panel from Summer in the City, and here it all is for you to enjoy. I'll be honest, it was difficult because I had to record it on my iPhone and the sound quality isn't perfect, but nonetheless it was a really amazing event to be part of and fantastic to see so many people in the audience. So I hope you enjoy it, and as always I will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Please comment in the box, please subscribe and follow and share and like my videos, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Right, hello everyone. We've had a little bit of a shuffle around of the attendees on this panel. So these are our beautiful people. We are gonna bear with me, I'm in a little bit of a mess today. Okay, so gender identity. Are we all ready to go?
Yes.
Right, we're gonna go down. Everyone's gonna say your name, your pronouns, your label if you would like to share that, and a little bit about what you do. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Danny. I am agender. I use they them pronouns, and I make music and trans videos on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Steph. I use he, him pronouns. I also do a lot of trans-related videos on YouTube, and I'm also a writer.
Hello, I'm Roly. I go by any pronoun under the sun. I'm happy with anything. I do a lot of piercing and modification content, and I'm also non-binary, and I do a lot of gender-related topics as well. Yay!
Hiya, you're right. My name is Ellen. I go by she, her pronouns, and I, shocker, do a lot of trans-related content. I believe it.
My name's Charlie, I go by she, her, and I do a lot of trans content too. I'm also a racing driver and I tend to vlog about all kinds of things on YouTube.
Can I quickly say, what an amazing crowd. Like,
I was literally about to say that, words out of my mouth. The energy in here is fantastic. Please clap for yourselves. Self-love. Okay, shall we kick this off?
Yeah.
We're going in. So, it's a deep one. Do you feel like you're a part of the wider trans community on YouTube? We'll go down the line, because that seems to be working quite well.
Yes, I do. Like, I have a lot of trans friends on YouTube as well. However, it's been hard for me to grow my channel a bit, so sometimes I feel like I'm a bit forgotten about. And I guess that's a thing in like the larger YouTube community in general, but I definitely do feel like I'm part of the trans community.
Yeah, I mean, similar thing. It's kind of, I feel like there's a bit of a divide between huge trans creators and then us really diddy ones at the bottom. But I still definitely feel part of it, like, especially coming to events like this and meeting everyone, and everyone kind of knows each other, which is really nice. And so you definitely get a sense of community.
Yeah, definitely. I think coming into a room like this and seeing so many of you here, like, it definitely solidifies to yourself that it's like, yes, you are part of a wider like community that actually, you know, relates to you and actually wants to, you know, learn more and be a part of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm part of the community now. I was making videos for ages before I even told my viewers that I was actually trans. I didn't do any trans-related content because I was living in stealth. But then as soon as I did and I made a video and I started to get my way into the community, I felt nothing but love, and I felt nothing but hugs and kisses, and now I feel part of the community.
I definitely say that, yeah, I feel part of the online community, and I think for me, when I started transition, I didn't really have any trans friends, so for me, blogging was actually the first thing I did that connected me to people, and meeting Fox and Lewis from my generation, and then from them I met a whole load of people, and it just kind of spiraled from there, and it was so YouTube really, you know, really kind of started that for me. It was great.
That reminded me, a quick shout out to Fox and Owl, who are stuck in Iceland right now, and we're meant to be on this panel, so we'll send them all our love. So, kind of related, how do you feel that the trans community could be closer on the platform? Because I know there is sometimes a bit of a divide between certain areas, especially in the UK and America. I feel like we do have a divide there, so do you have any ideas you want to throw out there into the universe of how we could be closer?
I think definitely that most trans creators should just collab more and like get the word out there that we're here and we're not going. So I think that would definitely be a way also for the different kinds of trans communities on YouTube to get closer to each other.
Yeah, also I think just because within the trans community I've noticed there has been a bit of beef amongst trans people against other trans people, which is baffling because it's like we get so much rubbish from other people, why are we adding to it and putting more hate into the community when we could all just try and support each other instead? Even if we have differing views, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to go out of your way to tear someone down or say something negative, when you could just say nothing and your life won't be affected, and then you also won't poorly affect anyone else's life. So just kind of uplifting each other a bit more, you know?
I would say just a slight, not so much of policing when it comes to terms. I think some people can maybe think of a label and think if anyone else identifies with that label and it doesn't precisely match up to what they think that label means, a lot of the time people are like, well, you're not this, you're making it up or whatever. And I think just to have a little bit more understanding that someone can identify something and just because it might not match up to what you necessarily think it is, like it's okay. And I think, gender is such a, a vast topic and there's so much we can discuss about it, that understanding that, not everyone's going to have the exact same opinion as you is okay. You don't have to completely agree, but just accept one another, and I think we're in a better place.
I think there's a weird kind of hierarchy within the trans community, which is really bizarre, because actually, as you said, we're fighting the exact same fight. But I think there's a weird divide between trans people and non-binary people, and people not necessarily feeling like they go in the same bracket, which I think is a crock of shit. And I wouldn't really know how to suggest how we change that. I think that's just a rooted attitude that's just always been there within the LGBTQ+ community. But yeah, there's this sense of not being trans enough, or you're too trans for the community, and it's like this weird rating system, which is really, really bizarre, and is actually the complete opposite of what we're trying to achieve by being visible. So yeah, I don't know how to change that. Okay.
I think I'd echo what you're saying, Alex, because I think it's a difficult one to know what would be the best way to bridge that. I mean, even just down to the levels of the hierarchy that there is a bit in terms of the size of some people they have with their followers, and then even just down to the type of content people make, really. And yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, I'm not really sure what's the best way to answer it.
I think the greatest thing about this is that once we identify there is a problem, we may not know how to solve that, but I think identifying it is a key point into moving on as a community and going to better places. Anyway, we're getting the tea now. You're welcome. Right. Do you think the recent changes on YouTube has hindered your ability to grow in terms of things like demonetization and having to filter yourself just to avoid demonetization?
Yeah, definitely. But also, since I'm a smaller channel as well, I got demonetized as soon as that 4,000 watch hours thing came through. So I'm a bit less cautious about it now. I'm like, YouTube don't like me anyway, I can do what I fucking want.
I've kind of been exactly the same. I'm not getting money anyway, so why am I going to worry about them getting me in trouble? Or I know potentially things could get flagged just for having the word trans in them and stuff. I noticed that when I was still available for monetization, I put up a video and I did the thing where I uploaded it and put trans in the title, and it lost its monetization, and then I got rid of the word trans, and all of a sudden it was eligible again. So I was like, you know what, if you guys are going to be like this, and you've taken it away completely, I just don't care now. I'm just going to post whatever I want. If they want to have an issue with it, then take it up with me, because I don't have people. But,
I'll be your people. They can take it up with me, right?
Yeah.
I've changed myself a little bit online, not necessarily the content I do is still exactly the same, but I've had to limit swearing and some topics if I ever talk more sex stuff, whatever, I kind of had to dull it down a little bit, because for me YouTube is primarily my job, so I have to at least hint do something as I'm not going to pay my rent and things. So I've changed myself a tiny bit in that way, but I haven't changed my core value of who I am as a person. If I don't say the F word a few times, so what? That's not vital to my career. So
yeah. I think I come from the same attitude of knowing that I don't make any money anyway. So in that sense, it is not too much of an issue. I think the main issue for me is having YouTube, which is obviously this like massive, massive company, pretty much telling me that you're not valid, and we don't want to put anything behind this, and we don't want to support you. Because it's not just about the money, it's how it affects the algorithm, how it affects being seen and being visible. And that's a massive slap in the face, and it's hard not to be like disheartened by that. It's a huge fuck my drag moment. So like it's just a weird it's just a really weird feeling to just be a content creator making everything that you want to make, and for someone bigger up, the white guy in the suit, tell you that it's not worth it. So really happy stuff.
I think, yeah, it's pretty crazy, really. I mean, I've noticed it. I'd say my content, my videos, I feel like they're pretty safe. I don't tend to swear. I don't tend to talk about things that are, really graphic kind of thing. But then even videos I've made about surgery or like post-surgery, which I think are, videos I've made to help people because they're really informative. I've noticed that those have been, had issues with them, and I'm like, there's no nudity, I'm just purely being factual about an experience, and that to me does seem pretty crazy, so it's a shame.
So I don't know if this is just me being conspiracy theory or speculation, but obviously, Ellen, you said about algorithms. Now, YouTube said that if it becomes that sort of demonetized or has the yellow, S on it, that it would still appear in the search as much as it is. But does it though?
Also, how is that an accident?
Yeah.
I don't understand how. Oh, whoops! Everything LGBT related is accidental. The fact that they tried to play it off as an accident just baffles me. That doesn't make any sense.
Besides with the recent homophobic and transphobic ads that they've been allowing,
don't they have to approve the
ads?
ads?
Make money anyway.
Yeah, but
it'll be like that.
For the ad stuff as well. Don't YouTube have to sit there and say what ads go on the videos? Yeah. So how can you say, oh, we didn't realise that was we're gonna put an anti-gay ad before a gay video? I'm like, you guys are in charge of it. Right?
Well, the thing is as well is they said that this algorithm that they use that flagged videos is supposed to be learning what's right and what's wrong.
Well, how's it learning?
How much longer do they need?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It has been a year and a half now. Yeah. And it's still doing it. It was clearly not working.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think we should all do? We should just stop making trans content and go into a forest, film a dead body just to get one of them.
Right, thanks for coming to the last episode.
But he almost dropped the microphone when he said that.
How'd you carry on from that? What's next?
YouTube is definitely demonetizing all of us now.
But to be honest, when you started saying that, I actually thought you were going to say we should just stop being trans.
Everyone,
we're all going to stop being trans now. Right. I need a minute. Okay.
Sorry, babe.
Hey, you. I think you need to go back to Wembley, love.
She's been trying, that's the problem.
Right. Okay, how do you feel about trans people's place in the LGBTQ+ community, and is there anything people could be doing to better make minorities feel more supported? So, touching more specifically on things like non-binary and ace-phobia.
I think definitely we should all just accept each other for as we are, because we already get so much hate from the cis heads that we can't afford to put hate between ourselves as well. And with the trans community being such a minority, I would like for LGBT people to make our voices heard rather than speak over us. Because I think that would definitely be a valuable way to progress as a community.
Yeah, I mean, you basically took the words right out of my mouth. It's literally because I think a lot of cishet people are very they love the idea of being an ally, but then they don't really actually do much to be one. In terms of they'll say, oh, I'll try and use your pronouns, but then for example, if they see an instance of transphobia or homophobia, I'm not really sure how many people would actually say anything or try and help, or even like supporting people's, like trans people's GoFundMes and stuff. Even sharing those and just doing tiny little things to help, like, it means a lot. So I think just, especially other people, yeah, in the LGBT community. And then in terms of non-binary and acephobia, again, it doesn't make any sense, because, you know, if people have opinions that they don't really understand something or agree with it or whatever, sometimes you can't change people's minds, but it is up to that person whether they want to say it out loud and potentially upset somebody and hurt them. And why you don't need to invalidate somebody for your own identity to still be valid. So I don't understand.
I would say reach out to people. Like, if you ever see anyone struggling, or you see someone who is going through a hard time, don't just sit on the sideline and be like, oh, I'm not going to get involved. Like, speak up. Speak up for your friends. Speak up for people. Even if you don't know them, like, if you see something happening, say something. Don't, silence is the killer. So it's like, please, you never know what someone's going through, and if you see someone being down, or you see someone being like attacked or whatever, speak up. Tell someone. Just show them support, because you can change someone's life just by saying, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, just be there for people.
I think there's definitely power in numbers. We definitely need more of us to be as visible as possible, but not just the people that are typically seen on YouTube. Obviously, we need more people of colour that are trans on stuff like this. Like, although I love everyone here, like, we all are very white. We need to get more visibility in that sense, so other people can relate and be like, I identify with who you are. You're going to help me with my journey. But actually, yeah, I agree, we need to stick together. Fast. In the words of Troy Bolton, we're all in this together.
Oh my God.
I think so, supporting each other is such a key part of that. And I think it's just, trans people being given a chance to speak, and people actually listening to what we're saying as well, because, it's just, so many people, everybody has their own story, their own transition, their own experience, and all of our stories are valid, we're all valid as individuals, and I think just having that opportunity for people to take us, as they find us, and take us seriously, and just be nice, basically.
Be nice, guys.
Also, what does cishet mean?
Cisgender and heterosexual.
I'm amazed you didn't know that.
Oh yeah, when you're laughing a lot.
This is truly a time for education.
And for those who don't know what cisgender means, it is basically not trans.
Yeah.
If you were assigned male at birth and you identify as male, you are cis. Congratulations.
Well done.
You'll learn.
Well done on not being oppressed.
Yeah. Have fun with that. We are so shady today. So, before we move on to a little Q&A section, being trans is hard. It can be a struggle, it can be kind of shit a lot of the time, and getting to a place of self-love and self-acceptance is probably one of the biggest struggles. So, I would like us to all go down one by one, and I want you to compliment yourself. I don't want this to be a surface level, like, oh, I think I'm nice. I want a deep, thoughtful compliment of yourself.
Can I just say, we were not prepared for this.
No, this was...
They showed me the questions and this was not on the list.
I'm sneaky. I'll give you a moment. We'll have a moment of silence.
I feel like we
Might come back tomorrow.
I need a moment of silence for myself.
Bye.
Feeling the love.
This is hard.
Well, do you want to start off and give yourself a compliment?
You're going. It was your question. You want to believe it.
Can you believe?
Can you believe?
Well, there's many good things about you, so...
Shut up. Okay. Do you know what? I'm actually really proud of myself for coming out here in a skirt and heels and a full face. Toxic masculinity, I don't know her anymore, okay?
I guess I'm really proud of myself for being so kind-hearted and always looking after other people, sometimes forgetting myself.
I got you.
but like, it's a thing that we see too little of in society these days, like people that are genuinely just kind to everyone, and I'm very proud to be one of those people.
I feel like mine's not going to like live up to those because it's not as deep. I was just going to say something I like about myself is my writing ability. Like I do think I have a degree in it, so let's hope I'm not terrible. But you know, I tend to read over my stuff and think it's decent, and I like the fact that I write lots of inclusive stuff. So.
I think for me, I've reached a stage in my life now where I'm so happy with who I am that I just don't give an F like what people think. And it's like, I had a meetup today and it was like hearing so many stories of people coming up to me and be like, I've changed their lives and helped them come out and help them accept themselves. Like, it's so rewarding. I think I've worked so hard on my YouTube and I've worked so hard to try and create a platform, on my own, to be able to, help people. And the fact that I've done that now and I'm continuing to do it, it feels amazing. And as for someone who grew up in a tiny place and felt so alone, like, oh my God, I'm getting sad. Being able to like help people, it's just like incredible. And it's all I wanted, and I'm doing it, and it just feels amazing. So I love you all so much. Like seriously, like seeing you and hearing your stories is incredible. It's like the best feeling ever.
Hey Ellen, can we get a hug for Roly?
Huh? Oh, blimey. I think I'm most proud of myself for not shying away from telling my story, because I did for so many years, and I thought that I could live a life where I just wouldn't have to tell anyone what I've been through in the past, and I would be able to just get by. But then I realised how much anxiety actually comes behind that, and how much, to be honest, guilt I felt by not sharing my story. And it was the scariest thing I've done to actually be able to like tell everyone, because I never thought I'd be in a position that I would ever do that. And it has pretty much changed my life. Like I have a completely different mindset to pretty much everything now. I used to be so anxious, I used to be so depressed, and I still have those days, but I'm very proud of the person that I am now, who can be visible and talk and be here. Also, I make a really good cup of tea.
I guess I'm kind of proud of myself for doing the thing that I just never thought would be physically possible for me. I always looked at people who transitioned and thought that I just didn't, I don't know, I just thought it was an incredible thing, but it was something I would never have the self-confidence and self-belief to do myself. And when I reached a point that I was actually like, this is it, I'm going through with it, looking back on that now, I can't believe it took me so long to get to that point, but then I think that's because the confidence and everything that I've kind of developed through becoming the person I am now, and I guess I just really want to try and inspire other people to take that same journey, because I know the difference it's made to my life, and that's something that we can all have, I think. So, yeah.
That was really beautiful. I loved all of that. Okay, we are going to go to a little Q&A section now. I think there are some microphones that are available to roam around somewhere. I'm looking, but I can't see them. Oh, there they are. Okay, so just go crazy, pick whoever you want.
Aren't the volunteers a blessing?
Yeah, real quick, I love the volunteers.
Who's this gorgeous human?
Oh, who is they?
Stop it. As a non-binary person, I tend to shy away from calling myself trans because I don't personally feel like it's a word for me. It's different for every non-binary person. But how do you feel about non-binary people calling themselves trans?
That's very much a thing that everyone should decide for themselves. I know that I feel very comfortable calling myself trans, also being non-binary, but I know that's not a thing that everyone's comfortable with, and I don't think we should shame anyone for identifying or not identifying with a certain label.
I mean, I'm here for people doing whatever they're comfortable doing. Like, I'm a binary trans dude, but if you want to call yourself trans too, it's a trans umbrella at the end of the day. Trans doesn't just mean one thing. So if you want to be, like, if you feel like you should be included in that umbrella as a non-binary person, then sure. But also, yeah, like Danny said, if you're not comfortable with it, then there's no obligation. You literally do whatever makes you happy.
I think as long as the intention's good, it's fine. Like, I mean, I don't say that I'm trans myself as a non-binary person. I never use that word, but like, that's just how I am. But you know, as long as it's not like a negative way. It's not like you're saying, oh, this blah blah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely subjective for each person. I know that I would never be like, why are you calling yourself trans if you're non-binary? Because it's like, it makes no sense. We're all part of this together. Again, oh god, I just keep on quoting Troy Bolt. It's like I want to go into song. Yeah, no, I mean, it's completely different for each person. You do you. That's really simple, but it's so true. You do you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just agree with everything everyone said, basically. I can't really kind of add more to that, but I think it's a personal thing. It's just down to you as an individual. Yeah.
Really, I thought you were putting your hand up.
I want the question.
I've got a
I want the
question.
attention. No, it's because the light. I'm trying to see the people.
It's so bright.
Oh, that helps actually. I can see now.
There's this thing going around on the internet at the moment. It's a debate. Do you feel as though you need dysphoria to be trans?
Good luck, everyone.
I have very deliberately stayed away from this question. I think it's a thing that everyone needs to decide for themselves, really, and I don't really have a stance on it. I just want everyone to feel happy and comfortable within themselves, in whichever way that is, like whether you do or don't have dysphoria, and whether you do or not consider yourself trans. That's none of my business.
I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be honest, it was something that, as someone who has dysphoria, when I first heard about it, I was a bit perplexed just because I was just a bit confused. It didn't make me angry. I wasn't obviously going out of my way to tell anyone how they should identify or feel. But, you know, obviously I looked into it, I looked into accounts of people who discussed being trans without dysphoria, and then, I mean, like Danny said, it's no one's business, so even though I didn't fully understand it, I've never gone out of my way to say anything to anyone. Now I'm in a place where I'm kind of like, I do get it, and I'm like, obviously I'm not going to understand anyone else's experiences because it's not mine. So whether, there's no actual answer of like, do you need dysphoria to be trans, because none of us can actually say it. But I personally, I'm like, you know what, if you don't have dysphoria, do you know what, if you don't have dysphoria but you're trans, well done. I'm jealous, like that's amazing. But yeah, no, literally. If you know you're trans and that you just happen to know and you don't have to have the negative with it, then amazing, good for you.
I would love to not have
Right?
dysphoria.
That's amazing, yeah.
That would be amazing.
Do whatever you're comfortable with.
I mean, I've got nothing else to add to what you just said. Like, that's perfect. Yeah, I think you've got to say, it's almost like you can't really erase someone's identity because they can't necessarily feel the same way as you. So you wouldn't like it if they were doing it to you, so don't do it to them.
Exactly.
I genuinely don't know. I kind of feel like we all, regardless of if we're trans or cis, we all do have a level of dysphoria embedded in us anyway, of just not. There's always going to be something in your brain. Obviously, it's so much more drastic for trans and non-binary people, but I feel like everyone does have an ounce of dysphoria in them somewhere. So for someone to be trans and not have any dysphoria at all is like a confusing concept to me, but again, as you said, I don't live that life. And
The thing is, do you know what I figured out recently actually? People say like, you're trans without dysphoria, but surely knowing you're trans is a form of dysphoria?
Social dysphoria?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is something to take away and
So
consider.
surely it's
That's
maybe,
gonna keep me up at night.
maybe they don't have obvious like physical dysphoria or something, but surely just knowing I'm not cis, is that not also just a form of slightly understated dysphoria? So,
It's food.
so again,
for
yeah. just chill.
Just have a revelation. We just do this for the rest of the hour, we just all just ponder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, ultimately, hey, it's not a competition. We all have our own experience, which is unique to us as individuals. So, I think, yeah, for me, I agree with Ellen. It's a new thing to get our head around, the idea of somebody not having dysphoria, but you know, if you don't, fantastic. And it's yeah, we're all valid. If we identify as trans, we identify as trans. It's something that, you know, it's down to you as a person. So.
Next question. Oh, we're playing past the parcel. Down she goes.
Do I stand up or?
If you want.
If you want.
We would love to be able to see you. With the light behind it, it's almost a bit like godlike. Just an introduction, my name is Jackson. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I'm a small YouTuber myself. I'm from Ireland, if you can't tell by the accent. Basically, my question is, as a small YouTuber, I still get a lot of questions on Instagram. One of the main questions I get is how to kind of get your parents to come around. I was lucky enough to have a parent who was super supportive from the get-go. Amazing parents. Can we just get like a round of applause for amazing parents? They need more appreciation. But my mom was super supportive, so for me it's very difficult to answer that question. So if you could give me just a little bit of advice to give to them, because I honestly don't know how to answer sometimes, because I just don't know how the situation goes.
Well, for me, I am from the Netherlands, in case you didn't know. And I got a lot of Dutch people especially being like, hey, so my parents are doing this and this, and you've been through the process in the Netherlands. What's it like? What can I tell my parents? And I always just try to be as honest as possible and make sure that they feel like they are valid in their trans identity, and that their parents shouldn't hold them back from doing what is best for them, because I let my parents do that for me for a long time, and that was not good, and I'm now 4 weeks on hormones, and I'm feeling the best I've ever fucking felt.
I think in terms of parents like taking a while to come around, I mean my mum did. I'm like Danny, I mean I've got parents that aren't too educated about this stuff. I'm from a Greek family, so it took a lot of talking. And I'm a person I don't actually like to talk very much, especially to my mum. We haven't had like a great relationship, but I kind of realised that if I wanted her to understand and to like get on board with it, I would have to actually sit and explain things to her. Because initially I was kind of just like angry about the whole thing, and I would just keep telling her to like, just Google it. And she was like, Steph, I don't want to Google it. Like, I want to talk to you. You're my son. Like, talk to me. And eventually I did. I just sat down and I had like just an honest talk and just explained about dysphoria and about pronouns and how like it makes me feel when people don't listen or they don't respect it. And I know that's really scary, and obviously it's much easier said than done, and it takes a lot of time. But I think doing that, and also show them other YouTubers. Like, I've got my parents to watch some videos and read some books, and that always helps, and then they kind of see it from a different perspective. So rather than just hearing it from their kid and maybe brushing things off or not really listening, if you hear it from someone else, then they might like absorb a bit more and then learn how to be more supportive for their trans child as well.
Yeah, my mom for the longest time was like, non-binary isn't real, you're not really trans. And I was like, is that how she sounds? No. She said it in Dutch. No, but this was a thing that she believed for a very long time. And then I had trouble telling her that I was going to the gender clinic and like seeking out hormones and surgery and all that. And then when I finally did tell her in December last year, she was like, oh. And then ever since she's come around a little bit, she still misgenders me, she still dead names me, but she no longer believes that it's like just a phase and not real.
Yeah, I think, so I said this on the bullying panel yesterday, so if I repeat it for anyone. You know, we've lived in a society for so long now where we have literally just been taught male and female, and that's been it for a long. Obviously there are some exceptions across the world, but for us, you know, it has just been that. And especially for a non-binary person, a lot of people just think you make it up, you're just, you know, you're just being a snowflake and everything that's not real. And instead of combating that with, oh, just shut other people up, like you have to be compassionate and love and show them, really try to explain them to them how you feel. And, you know, because they've been taught this for so long, you say something like, oh, there's a, you know, I identify as non-binary, which isn't male or female, and it's almost like you're sort of attacking what they've, been taught for such a long time, and it can be scary. It can be very scary when you don't understand, and that sometimes we get in our little bubble and forget that actually outside of it, people just don't understand. And to combat that with love and support and really try to explain to them and don't just, be angry. And I know sometimes it can be hard. I'm guilty of it myself, just to suddenly say, oh, fuck off, whatever, like, it can be upsetting. But really try and combat that because they just don't understand. And a lot of hatred just comes from fear and ignorance rather than actual, actual hatred. Yeah.
In terms of you telling the people that are asking you about how do I come out, it's again super subjective. Like it's so hard for each different person, and unfortunately there isn't a textbook on how to come out to your parents because obviously for some it's just not safe and they just can't, unfortunately. But for me, I think not being quiet about it and not being unapologetic about it, keep on, to prove that it is not a phase, and this clearly is something that is changing your life in not a particularly nice way. I think it's very easy for me to say this, but I think it's the worst thing we can do is to be quiet. But obviously I know that there are people who unfortunately can't do that. But I think just keep on telling.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, I mean, for me, when I was coming out, my parents weren't still with me, but it was, for me, so my experience was a bit different, but it was like my older brothers who I work with, and I think for them, although they kind of like accepted what I was doing, they just didn't get it, and for a long time, it was just kind of like glossed over, because I kind of told them, and then there was like this 6-month period before I actually started going full time. And my own experience, again, which is my experience, but I had to kind of push quite a lot, and just because they were just, I think they just thought, oh, if we just don't really acknowledge it's happening, it just won't happen, and there was that real kind of like sticking their head in the ground like an ostrich, and so I think it's very much striking that balance and knowing how hard to push and when to push at the right times, but I think you've got to kind of, it's difficult, but you do have to kind of stand your ground a bit at times, and and that is really hard, because when you're not perhaps entirely sure of who you are and the direction that you're going in, it is difficult. But yeah, just be true to yourself if you can, and just try to do that.
Any more questions? Oh, a few. Oh, there's a fair few.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm midway through a panic attack as well, so I'm going to try and get this as quick as I
Deep
can.
breaths. No one's touching you. We're all here to love you.
Thanks, Emmy. I am one of those people that I'm one of the only trans people in my area, but recently I've been trying to put in a lot of change around my school and stuff, because it's really not horrible. It's a really horrible place to be. So is there any ways I could try and explain to older generations of different religions and stuff, because where I am is quite multicultural as well, so trying to explain it with people with views that don't want to know is quite difficult. So is there any ways that I could explain without
It's okay.
We all got that?
Yeah, as you say, basically explain to people that are from different backgrounds and that might be older and that might not always be willing to listen. I don't really know. Again, it's probably just a lot of calm talking. That's literally the best way. Because obviously if you go in aggressively, which I have done in the past a few times, because sometimes your anger gets the better of you and you get frustrated, but that's just not going to get you anywhere. No one's going to listen. Because there are loads of resources online as well. So not just videos, there are websites that have tons of information and leaflets. So even if they need bare bone definitions of things, you could just print off some bits of paper, and even I'm not sure obviously how your community works, but if there's a communal place that has a pin board, you could even just stick some bits of paper on there, and then if you want to know more, they can I don't know if you've got a general email or something, and they can just try and maybe put some feelers out first. And then if anyone, because you might actually be surprised by people that might just show up and actually want to learn, because I know people are older and I know people have different backgrounds and it can impact them, but sometimes people will shock you. Like, my grandparents are religious, they're like Greek Orthodox, and my mum told them about me a few months ago, and they were absolutely fine. Like, it was the most shocking thing ever. And I was under the impression that they were going to have the biggest issue, because they've said things in the past that didn't lead me to believe they were very open, and they were just like, yeah, whatever. And they've been using my pronouns more in the past, like, 6 months than some of my other family members who are younger have in 2 years. So they've just stunned me. So you just don't know what might happen with people. So definitely start off gently, and then if you've got, I know you said you're one of the only trans people, but if you've even got a couple of friends, and you could just start kind of reaching out and seeing, because you might be surprised.
And even if you don't have any other LGBT friends, because we know each other, the area that you live in, there are other LGBT people, I can tell you that. And there are also like groups and places where these people come together. I know they're hard to find, but I can send you a message if you want. But yeah, because I used to live in the same community, and I know what it's like. And there isn't a lot there. But there definitely are other people that are like you and that you can make friends with and build your support network.
Anything to add down the other end?
I think saying, you know, sometimes the softy approach is the way to go in those kind of instances, and my experience as well is very much like, people will surprise you. You never know. Sometimes the people that some of the people I thought were going to have the biggest kind of adverse reaction to my transition, who were actually just totally fine, and other people who I thought would be really cool, who you know, had sort of other reactions. And so yeah, you know, you just got to feel your way through it, and yeah.
I think we might have time for one more question. Do we have time for one more question?
So I came out last week.
Woo!
Yeah, I came up to my mum, and it kind of went like shit. Basically, I got kind of yelled at and told that I wasn't trans, and all of the shit reactions you can get for being trans basically came out of my mum's face. And so I don't know how to speak to her. Every time I've tried to speak to her, she's got mad at me, and I don't know, I can't deal with the transphobia well. And how should I deal with the transphobia that comes from her, like privately, instead of like I'm trying to change her mind and stuff, but it hurts, and like how do you deal with the hurt that comes from hearing transphobia from people that you love?
You're valid. You are so valid.
Yes, you are super valid. And obviously dealing with this hurt is a thing that is very, very hard. But also, if you want to try and explain to your mom without it instantly turning into a yelling match, try writing a letter and just putting it on her bed, because that gives you the time to think about what you want to say and say everything, and it gives your mom the time to read it, contemplate it, and then eventually talk to you about it if she wants to.
Yeah, no, I think just because unfortunately you can't force people to be accepting or to respect you. In terms of dealing with it more privately, I think, this is so like cliche, but literally find things that make you feel calm and make you feel good, even if it's a song or an album or a book or a movie. Like, I think we all have our little go-to things, like I have specific albums I listen to, or if you don't have one, then kind of do some research and try and find one. If you listen to something and think, oh, this is lovely, or, you know, and just literally anything. Or even just, if you have like specific, you know, this is very on brand, but YouTubers that you like and that, you know, you watch and feel happy, then maybe make yourself a playlist of their content. Listen to Pink and Blue by Jake Edwards.
I was gonna say. stan a legend.
I'm sorry.
We stan a legend.
Kicking you out now.
No.
No, but seriously, you know, like find like the smallest thing that might make you feel better, or even if it's just literally hopping on Twitter, because Twitter I found to be a very affirming place, because you can choose who you surround yourself with on it, so it's great. So just find like a little support system if you can, and then yeah, little bits and bobs that just make you feel better and just give you a moment to escape when things are a bit shit.
Yeah, I think just give it time. I know it's not the easiest situation to be in, and I think sometimes when we come out and stuff, we sort of instantly think, oh, people will respect or instantly be okay with it, when like it takes you a long time to accept it yourself and to understand. Like it's unrealistic sometimes to think that someone else is going to instantly get it, instantly understand. So just give it time, and you know, I can't promise that she'll change her mind, which is sad, but you know, just keep explaining. You know, I think writing the letter is a perfect way as well, because then you're not necessarily in the vicinity when you know she reads it or something. And like talking about Twitter, you know, there's always, like recently at least, queer hashtags have always been like every week there's like a new one going on. You know, search up these, hearing queer is one of them, like queer Twitter and all these ones. Like go on them and see all the beautiful people that post photos of themselves. Reach out to them, tweet to them, and just be like, can I have some support? Because I know you said you want to do it more privately, but sometimes it's, you know, just being able to vocalize it to someone else can make you feel so much better, and keeping it to yourself sometimes isn't the best. So I think, yeah, maybe reach out to people and you'll feel so much more comfortable as well.
So obviously your mum is your family and you're always going to love her unconditionally. But I think one of the most special things about queer culture and being in the queer community is actually we get to choose our own family. And we are fucking there for you, babe. Like, nothing but respect. Find those people, take comfort in those people. There's so much power in numbers, and we're here for you. And always remember that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when I first connected with the trans community and when I was transitioning, the sense of belonging that gave me was just huge. And I think having those people around you, those people in your life that you connect with, and that kind of solidarity is just such a powerful thing. So yeah, just doing that, I think, can really help you get through those times.
We did it.
Yeah! So on that very warm and lovely note, I just want everyone to have a little look around, look to your left, to your right, look behind you. I want you to know that all these people that you're looking at are all your family. We are all in this together. So you like
Can we play that song as we walk off the stage?
Yes.
Oh my
Can
God.
somebody find it, please? We're all in this together. High School Musical, someone play it. For the love of God. But this is your family. We all respect each other and support each other here. So I want you to leave this room knowing that we are all out there. We might go and spread out a little bit, but we're all out there. And we know there is a shoulder to lean on. And yeah, thank all of you.
Yeah, and also if any of you didn't get the chance to ask a question, all of us are going to be around. Feel free to come up to us, talk to us, because we're here for you. Yeah, just as the rest of the community are.
So yeah, round of applause for all of my lovely people.